At the time I'm doing this video, Bitcoin is up 14% so far this year, and there is one CEO that has added $45 million to his company's balance sheet. And no, it is not Elon Musk. So what is going on here? Should we look at adding Bitcoin to our portfolio, or should we look at adding this stock, or is there something mysteriously wrong with this company? That answer might be yes. Let's go ahead and break it down. Boy. I might have been right. I might have been right on this one, because this stock we actually talked about back in January, and things have gotten even weirder. The company name is MicroStrategy, which it's just renamed to Strategy, and I will tell you exactly what the company does here in a second, because it gets strange. So let's start at the top. You guys have brought up a company that at the time was up like 2,000% in the last year or so. At the time, again, the name of the company was MicroStrategy. They were a software company, and for whatever reason, they were just buying up a whole lot of Bitcoin. The problem was, the reason the stock was up was because of the value of Bitcoin, because sometimes when you evaluate stocks, you look at how much are you making, but also what are your assets. Well, if your asset is Bitcoin, the value of Bitcoin is rising, which is it has been doing, right? Bitcoin is up almost 60% in the last year, then the value of the stock has been up. And they've been doing this for over the last 5 years. So they've been making a lot of money. That value has ballooned. Well, are they good at making software? No, it's just the value of Bitcoin. But people are starting to catch on, because that was my initial sentiment back in January. And here's one of the tweets that I saw from an article that I read. And this guy is very deep into gold and Bitcoin and some other things. But also, here's this. The stock right now, at the time I'm doing this video, is down 30% in the last 6 months and up only 20% in the last year. Now think about that, right? At the time we talked about the stock, it was up like over 1,000% at the time. But now, in a year where Bitcoin is up and doing well, this stock is still down almost 30%. And they are still buying $45 million of Bitcoin. The thing has gotten so strange that they have started to rebrand the entire company. They did this back in February, and it completely missed my radar. So what are they rebranding to at this point in time? They are now just Strategy. And the strategy is to become a Bitcoin treasury, the first and largest Bitcoin treasury according to them. What is a Bitcoin treasury? Because even I was confused at this word salad here. I went and got my computer. So Strategy, which still goes by the stock symbol MSTR, is the world's first Bitcoin strategy. We're publicly traded. Okay, they were traded under MicroStrategy, and now just renamed the company, which Meta did this as well. We can talk about that. They've adopted Bitcoin as their primary treasury reserve asset. So instead of using just cash, they're just transforming everything that they can into Bitcoin, including their own stock. They sold stock. They're selling their own stock here to raise cash and turn it into Bitcoin. That is a risky strategy here, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. By using proceeds, it's here, by using proceeds from equity and debt financing, they'll take on debt to do this too, as well as cash inflows from operations. That's the selling of their software, which is their main business, which is what they were supposed to be doing since 1989. We strategically accumulate Bitcoin and advocate for its role as digital capital. Our treasury strategy is designed to provide investors varying degrees of economic exposure to Bitcoin by offering a range of securities, including equity and fixed income assets. In addition, we provide industry-leading AI enterprise, advancing our vision of intelligence everywhere. We leverage our development capabilities to explore innovation in Bitcoin applications, integrating analytics expertise, and our commitment to digital asset growth. We believe our combination of operational excellence, strategic Bitcoin reserve, our focus on technological innovation positions us as a leader in both digital assets and enterprise and analytics sectors, offering a unique opportunity for long-term value creation. So it just is a word salad, okay? It is a complete word salad. Basically, what they are doing is taking all the money they can make from software, which apparently isn't too much because they haven't been that great at doing that, selling their own stock and buying up as much Bitcoin as possible. From one of the articles I read, it sounds like they own about 3% of all the available Bitcoin currently, which is a lot, right? I think close to 400 Bitcoin. I think it's like 394 if I remember correctly. So they own a lot of Bitcoin. And according to the website, it also looks like they are trying to register and launch some sort of Bitcoin product, like a high yield investment, right? So, well, I can look deeper into that as they get closer to launching that, if they want to do that. So I don't know if they're trying to get into the investing space and maybe like a Coinbase type of thing, or like, you know, a Bitcoin version of Vanguard or something of that nature, start launching their own ETFs. My question would be, why not just launch a separate company and do that? Perhaps the reason as to why you wouldn't is because it takes so much more to register a new company and do that, right? Why not just kind of reform the one that is currently traded so you don't have to go through that whole process? Perhaps that's why. Maybe that's it. But something is off. And I think the market is starting to realize this. So we'll see, right? I'm not necessarily calling this company a fraud, but we were absolutely on to something the first time around where we said, hey, look, something's off here. And what I would say, just like I said the first time around, Bitcoin has proven to be a good part of your portfolio. The question is how much. I've always said about 5% because it can still be volatile. And right now, and I would say for more than a year now, it has had a consistent, relatively consistent ride up. And it is okay to have some portion of your money in it. But if you can just add Bitcoin to your portfolio outright, what is the point of investing in a company like this? Why did I just own Bitcoin straight up? Why have the middleman? Why have a CEO? You know, it kind of takes away the power of Bit. Like I'm getting watered down Bitcoin. I'm getting Dollar Tree, Dollar General Bitcoin here by investing in this company that appears to be just weird, right? I'm not gonna call it shady. I'm not gonna call it fraud or anything like that. But it just appears weird. So it looks like we were on to something the first time around. We will see if something great comes from this company. For those that don't know, there are companies that have evolved in the past. For those that don't know, CarMax evolved from Circuit City, which is no longer with us anymore. So some companies can be one thing and spin off and spit out something that is totally unrelated. So can MicroStrategy be that? Or is this just some weird pivot that absolutely doesn't make any sense and will be on the next episode of American Greed or something like that? We gonna find out here pretty soon. Hey, so I'm editing right now, and I went back and looked even deeper into the website, and it looks like they are advertising their stock and their different classes of stock, as well as their bonds, their debt offerings. That is weird, but in a way, one way to look at it is they are soliciting money. They are asking people, hey, buy every possible class of stock. There are different, there's regular stock that we just buy on any app, and then there are different types called convertible stock, meaning you get one class of stock or one type of stock where they can pay a much higher dividend. On the case that they have on their site, they're paying up to 10% for dividends, which I don't know how you're going to pay that. Now, because Bitcoin has been up close to 6%, maybe you can pay that off. But for how long is my thing. But that sounds real fishy, real strange. But they are trying to pump it out there and say, look, you can buy all these different types of stocks. We're going to pay all these super high dividends. We're going to offer these bonds. And when you click, brokerage, it's going to give you all these options. Vanguard, all these other apps, Robinhood. You can go and buy these stocks all these places, and as I mentioned, and in that huge statement that they have on their site, they're saying, we are going to take all this money and buy more Bitcoin, which that's not a business strategy. It just boggles the mind to me. They're just taking all the money and buying Bitcoin, which, again, it may be valuable, but is that really a business? Like, you can just buy Bitcoin yourself. You're basically giving them money to buy Bitcoin, and how does that benefit you? Because right now the stock is down and Bitcoin is up. You could buy Bitcoin yourself. So I don't really see what their angle is, but I just kind of dug deeper into it for, another 10-15 minutes, and it's just baffling. So we'll see where this goes. This does give me vibes of that one electric car company, not Mullen Automotive, but the other one. Nikola is the name of it. Nikola. You probably don't remember that one, but that one had a lot of strange vibes because they claimed a lot of income, and it ended up being like some solar panels on the guy's house, but it was a lot of off vibes here. So we'll see where that ends up going, but yeah. So back to our regularly scheduled programming. I'm going to go back and edit this video and all the other videos that we have coming out this week.